Story 1. I like my freedom. I like doing what I want when I want. Most of all, I like being alone most of the time. I have a whole 3 friends when I need someone to hang out with. That's good enough for me. Story 2. They cannot handle the judgment being with me would bring them, and I understand that, so I am not going to try and force anyone to be in a relationship with me. Story 3. I've been making a list. I occupy the gray zone in every situation you can imagine. I fit in everywhere and nowhere. I work too much and have a hard time creating space and time for myself, much less another person. I have enough things going on in my life with associated challenges, not mental but circumstantial, that I need to solve before I feel like I can be a good partner in a relationship. I'm too independent, and I will do it myself. I am capable in a way that I think scares people. I live in a geographically isolated area where the average age is 50 and people have never left. I am a 27-year-old female and a transplant who was chasing dreams. I liked the idea of romantic love, but until recently had a monolithic complex where it was cheap, dirty, foolish for other people, and certainly not for me. I wanted it in an abstract way. But long story short, I now believe in it and want it in a tangible way, actively navigating that. I want something long-term and apparently have an old-fashioned approach, being against rosters, hookups, apps, situationships, etc. I want a relationship that adds to my already full, vibrant, and great life. If it's not a positive addition to my life, then it is not for me. I don't want a relationship just to have a relationship. You are the reason I want a relationship, not just that I want a relationship and it happens to be you. I am perfectly comfortable by myself with the thoughts in my own head. See the point about in addition to my life. I have a hard time catching flirtation attempts. Story 4. Too busy working on becoming a great partner, but also haven't found anyone that meets my criteria yet. Ironically, I don't have too high expectations, but for some reason, the people that meet these expectations seem rare. Story 5. I don't want to be someone's mom. It seems like every guy wants someone to do all the cooking, cleaning, laundry, etc. I'd rather do it all for myself, mow the lawn, and take care of the house. I also don't want kids, like, ever. I'm okay if someone already has them. It's just not for me full-time for sure. Story 6. I have yet to find a person who seems more appealing than being alone. I'm 31, I've been engaged twice, and really, there's no huge pressure for me to find someone to file taxes with. Also, I own my own business and work a weird schedule, so I either have no free time or only free time. Story 7. Life dealt me 4 aces. Asexual, aromantic, asocial, and asperjon. I had one brief relationship at 25, feeling the cultural pressure to marry and reproduce. After that, I swore never again, and at 38, it's just me and my cat. Story 8. Everyone at my school thinks I'm a lesbian. I am not. I like guys. I've tried to tell many people that 1,000 times, but they don't listen. And I quote, "You look like a mega lesbo," 2 of my friends said when I was wearing glasses. Also, guys just don't like me. I don't really know. I think I'm a nice person, but I ruined my reputation in 5th or 6th grade. Story 9. Not sure. Want 1. Seeking 2. Compatibility means? I have worked a lot on myself to be a good one and share myself well. I think compatibility becomes hard in our late 30s. In our early 20s, we are way less picky and care less about deal breakers. I know others' answers will and should differ. Story 10. It's hard to be vulnerable with someone. It's scary, and it always bites you in the ass, so being single is the best option for me because I am usually nonchalant and chill. Everyone just thinks I am strong, but I know how I cry in my room. I don't think anyone would actually stay, accept, and truly love me after all that. They will just end up doing something that I would regret ever telling them my fears or pains. It has happened, so yeah. Story 11. It's a mix of a lot of things. Isolating myself, being unable to talk to new people, fear of commitment, avoidance of conflicts, and I'm not a great conversationalist even with the people I do know. I'm so bad at listening or even trying to get into the conversation that they get irritated, and I have to ask them to repeat it for me numerous times. It just feels hopeless for me, and I dull that pain by isolating myself even further. Story 12. I could go months or years without talking to anyone and be just fine. I am married with stepchildren. Ultimately, that's why I don't have a boyfriend. Laugh out loud. Story 13. I'm not sure I'm capable of having a conventional relationship. I'm a transgender woman, previously asexual, but now a bisexual with a preference for women, and a submissive bottom thanks to hormone replacement therapy. I'm really far over on the submissive scale, to the point that arousal is directly related to the desire to be dominated and experience some pain. And I'm still trying to figure out if I want to be someone's girlfriend or house pet. Story 14. Because I am not interested in having a relationship or anything associated with it, I can barely take care of myself some days, and you want me to take someone else's feelings or well-being into consideration. Sounds like a disaster waiting to happen. Story 15. I genuinely don't know. I'm not a stunner, but I'm not bad-looking, I think. I'm social, and spend a lot of my time with people. I know I'm not perfect, but I don't think I have any huge red flags. I don't know why nobody has ever expressed interest in me. It makes me feel unlovable, which I know is not true, but it's difficult to grapple with. I'm about to graduate university, and I've never even been on a date. Story 16. Other than a meetup, drinks, food, or a one-night stand, I have been single for 16 years. I am not even sure I could deal with someone else. I am sure no one could deal with me. Story 17. Because I just don't have the energy for the nonsense anymore. I am going to be turning 40 next month. I've been single for 2 years now. I think I'm going to just stay that way. It's far more peaceful and much less stressful. Getting laid is not difficult. Dealing with someone else's traumas and insecurities is anything but easy. Story 18. So many reasons, ultimately due to trauma, trust issues, and self-esteem issues. I'm making stellar progress on those though, and I expect I will be able to start dating again in a few years. Story 19. Because I'm overweight and identify as gay, the only men who are interested in me see me as a fetish object. I was also forced to hide my sexual orientation until my late 20s, and by then everyone was already paired up. Story 20. Chris Dalmuth, just playing. Him and a happy, confident woman who keeps that as my reputation, along with my child as hers now, and my ex-man, now her man, who I'm forever trying to break it off with because he isn't any better. Story 21. A combination of being a hermit by choice and living in an area that is hostile to people who are different. I have autism, and a lot of people think that I, a 27-year-old man, should not be in public because my masking is flawed and can be noticed after about 20 minutes of engagement. I am trying dating apps with no luck. Story 22. Lack of funds for dates and gifts. B. Lack of confidence, which lack of funds contributes to. C. The shown behavior of many women on social media makes me hesitant and even apprehensive to waste my time to impress someone that may look at me like a lesser being or make fun of me behind my back for views. I had a friend in real life that went through that. It nearly destroyed his mental state. I know that's not indicative of all women or even most, but it seems to happen too often to ignore. Hence, it's disenfranchising and demoralizing. And it happening to someone you actually know makes one too afraid to try a lot of the time. And yeah, there are a lot of unpleasant men on social media too. Just saying. Story 23. Recently got out of one that was not great. I'm not ready. Before this past relationship, I was single for 2 years, and this was a nice refresher. Maybe it's because I put too much energy into the wrong person, but relationships are exhausting. I think I like being alone more than I like being in a relationship. Story 24. I feel as though I would be an anchor. I don't want to put someone through the whirlwind that is my life and emotions. Moreover, I'd rather not emotionally hurt another person I care about over my own inability to connect. I don't know about everyone's feelings or experiences, but my last serious relationship ended because my partner said they couldn't even see me anymore. Apparently, they expected me to remain the same person year in and year out. That's not how life works, though, and I know I won't be my fully realized self until the day I die. So, in the meantime, I won't burden someone with the crazy weight I seem to be. As for my own experience, I have always said I'm kind of crazy. I don't think like others around me. I grew up a military dependent, And with that came constant change of home, change of friends, teachers, and resources. I haven't been stable since I was 5 years old. It shakes the roots of the mind and emotional state in a time where one should be learning to live and process things. Perhaps it's the autism in my family expressing itself in odd ways. Maybe it's an overactive or hyperstressed nervous system, though that system hasn't truly deeply relaxed since I was 4 years old. I'm now 23. I feel like I end up dragging my partners through such turmoil and instability that it's not worth risking putting someone through that. But as I write this, I wonder if I will remain this way or if this is just a phase. I'm young, have many, many years to go, and plenty of time to grow and develop as a person. I don't want to be a burden. I don't want to be an anchor or figuratively dragging someone I may love. I've also been grappling with the idea that I've never actually felt love. Maybe the sensation and accompaniment I once called love is more like infatuation than actual love. So far, though, either way, I won't put someone through that. I won't put someone through me. In the words of the heat miser, I'm too much. Story 25. I am in the early stages of coming out in my early 30s. I am terrified of dating. I do not want to date before I have come out to more people. Story 26. Oh sure, why don't I just strap on my girlfriend helmet and squeeze down into a girlfriend cannon and fire off into girlfriend land where girlfriends grow on girlfriend trees. Story 27. I do not believe myself worthy of a romantic relationship, and frankly, I have my doubts that anyone would be interested anyway. Line up, ladies. I am a balding, overweight introvert in his mid-30s with depression. Do not all push to the front at once now. Story 28. After 2 longtime girlfriends and 3 marriages, I've decided it's me. Now I tell women that I'm taking a break and don't do that anymore. I haven't dated for 4 years. Story 29. I find it hard to meet other people my age in a natural setting who I'm attracted to and are also single. Online dating scares me too much, but it's probably my only option. Story 30. I enjoy spending my time alone. I could go so long without talking to people, and I don't like being attached to someone or having to constantly make plans with them. My social battery runs out too quickly. Story 31. Never had a sex drive. Immense trauma in life, antidepressants since 2nd grade. Now 43 and now 2 cancers and a terminal illness. I knew I was broken early on and felt any pursuit of it would be manipulative, so I decided to always be alone. Story 32. After my last breakup, I knew I was going to need some time. Once I started seeing people again, I realized that I feel much healthier when I am single. I have also had a lot of change going on. With potentially going to graduate school, I do not want to enter a relationship that may hold me back. I know how I am when I get into a relationship. I become almost too invested, and that is not something I am necessarily proud of. So, I want to just focus on living, whatever that looks like. It is still nice to date around and see what I do and do not like, though. I will say, I have always been pretty avoidant of commitment. It usually takes me a bit to know I want to get in a relationship. While I know this plays a big part, I also know that I have not felt any true romantic connection to someone. I think at times I might crave that type of intimacy, but then I think about how right now might not be the time. Hopefully, with some more work, I can and will be able to show up in a relationship as a better version of myself. Story 33. I am a 23-year-old virgin working at Walmart with no car or goal in mind. Why would I want to bring that to a female? I want to have financial stability before I even think about a girl. I know it sounds cheesy, but I want to give her the world. Story 34. I haven't really bothered looking, partially because I'm not entirely confident that I'm ready, and also because I'm a lazy, autistic, broke person who needs to work on himself first. Story 35. So here's my story. I have known this girl since 1st grade. I have cared for her, comforted her, and loved her for most of my life. Tonight, I asked her to be my Valentine. Multiple weeks ago, I took her to see a movie. We shared popcorn and walked the mall together. Then tonight, I confessed. She says no. Turns out that earlier in the day, her best friend asked her to be her Valentine. So she's gay. Apparently, she says they're not dating and it was only one day. She seems to care about me but makes a joke right after, disregarding and avoiding my serious feelings. She jokes about it and then ignores me for 2 hours. Please, someone comfort me. Story 36. I made a lot of blunders in my past choosing my partners. They were very toxic and ruined my mental health. I don't want to make the same mistake again. I don't want to rush into things and regret it later. These days, no one wants to take it slow. I mean, what's the rush? Story 37. Tried the dating applications, but they are not working. Recently lost my car, do not have a suitable place of my own, and have not really had the opportunity to meet someone. I am at the age where everyone is basically taken. Story 38. Well, you see, I don't have a third place. I have work and home, and I live in a small town of about 4,000 people, and there isn't anything to do or anywhere to go for miles around. My friends and I visit our local Walmart for fun, and it isn't even a supercenter. Anyway, I'm single because I already know everyone, and they aren't my kind. They're all horse girls or otherwise people who just aren't attractive to me based on things like politics. Though, I'm not surprised because I live in a conservative area in southeastern Oklahoma. It's lonely here. Story 39. I am a 40-year-old transgender divorced father of two with no current dating experience and the social graces of a walrus in a ballroom. I think you can figure it out.